For that, we would like to have a video message by Ms. Seher Zama, the senior news editor and the anchor for Mirror Now Times Network. I request my technical team to kindly relay the message by Ms. Seher Zama.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me on board here, and many congratulations to the MIT WP University and the School of Media and Journalism for their third such summit, and also for a very sensitive issue that has been picked up. And what I'm given to understand, this is regarding social media and the pandemic of trolling. Now, this comes in from a very deep understanding here that as far as social media is concerned, it's no longer an entire positive that people can use in their lives, because it has become such a playing field of negativity, unfortunately. And for you and your team to choose this as a subject and call this a pandemic of trolling is also coming from a very sensitive place of mind. I really appreciate it, because indeed trolling has become like a pandemic. It's become a part of our lives, and especially so for those people who are known personalities, or who belong to the media, or who are generally keeping a very vocal opinion on issues that are happening around them in the country. Talking about myself, given the fact that I'm a news person, I'm a consulting editor and a news anchor. I'm beamed across a million homes every day with the news and debates that I do. So I do have a very active participation in the social media as well. I do have public accounts on Facebook and Twitter, and a lot of my posts are connected to the news, even though I do share sometimes personal things as well, but that is, of course, to a minimum, because these are public platforms. A lot of it is connected to the work that I do. And in the past few years, it has become a hassle, and it has become uh, a crisis with a lot of negativity. And I would say this has happened more so. I've been on social media since 2006, 2007, when I started my public figure accounts here as well, apart from having separate personal accounts. But since 2006, 2007, it was a very different world on the social media. Of course, there were relatively lesser people on these platforms as well. But increasingly, I would say, at least from 2015, 2016 onwards, the negativity has only intensified. And this has happened so because it seems that people are out there with no work at hand, and they're just out there to attack you. And a lot of times in trying to make sense of this situation here, I say that people nowadays are the trolls, especially. They are employed by hate. It's as if hate has employed them, and it's part of their job to be hateful and spread so much negativity. And as journalists, since I've been a journalist and newscaster and editor, I've been in this field for at least 20 years now. I started work in 2001, where in which television was a very different world, television news, but it has increased by leaps and bounds in terms of outreach, in terms of duplicating material on the digital platforms as well. So it's a very different world right now. And when you're in the studio, you're doing your job as a journalist. You're asking questions on behalf of a people's voice, and you're taking up citizen issues, and you're trying to hold government accountable as far as promising they're keeping their promises on citizen issues here are concerned. So you're in the business of asking questions on behalf of people, on behalf of citizens of the country, on behalf of someone who's been a victim, on behalf of someone who's been wronged, on behalf of someone who's faced a violation, be it a human rights violation, be it a sexual assault. So you're in the business of asking those questions on behalf of people and asking it to those who need to be accountable to our lives, be it the government, be it politicians, be it police, be it the courts, be it any administrative body which is in place to take care of citizens. So as a journalist, I am in the business of asking those questions. And when you ask these questions and when you raise these issues every day as a journalist, in your reports, in your debates, in your shows, you're used to being attacked. You're used to being attacked in the sense that the person, the government, the administration to whom you're asking those questions doesn't like those questions to be asked. So you're used to being attacked in that manner, but that's a very different nature of attack that you face here. What you face on social media is an attack on your personal identity. I am attacked for the name that I have. I am attacked for the religion I follow. I am attacked for asking the same questions to the government and the politicians, but I'm not attacked for those questions. The goalposts are changed and I am attacked for being a woman, for being what my religious identity is. And that can be very disturbing. As I said, as journalists, we are hardened to an extent. We see a lot of ill in society. We're exposed to a lot of grave circumstances. We speak with all kinds of people. But this kind of personal attack is unwarranted. And it's very mean. And a lot of the trolls are nameless, faceless. They have random images, pictures as their profile images. They have random names. The liberty that social media provides these trolls to be nameless and faceless, to the extent it also becomes difficult for a cybercrime cell of a police force to track them down. There are a lot of IT rules that have been upgraded. There are a lot of, in the recent most IT guidelines that have now been operative mid-year. This, I think it started about July after the government notified them. They don't essentially work on ground to protect your rights as a victim of troll, because the system has not managed to keep up with this immense growth of trolls who I say are employed by hate. They act with such passion in their hate as if their next day's wage or their month's salary is dependent on this hate. And a lot of people have written about this and spoken about this as a theory that trolls are actually employed to attack people who don't keep views in line with government policies or sometimes question issues. But to deal with this daily attack every day can be very difficult, because it's okay if you criticize my work, but it's not okay if you criticize what gender I am and what religion I belong to. That's not okay. I'm here as a rightful citizen supported by the Constitution of India, and to attack me along those lines is not good, is not right, is not okay. And these daily attacks can cause great mental stress. It really is a pandemic. I think to call this a pandemic is the right way of dealing with it, is the right way to go about in bringing solutions of fixing this pandemic. Because when you're attacked this way on a daily basis, it affects your mental strength, no matter how strong you think you are, or you think how to fight it. Of course, the best way to fight it is that all of us say it's best to avoid it. But sometimes the attacks are so ugly that you have to respond to it. You have to stand up to what you are, because trolls are bullies. I think the best way to understand trolls is that they're bullies. And when you stand up to a bully and shout down to a bully, that's when the troll goes whimpering back into its corner and doesn't come back to attack you again. But the anonymity that these trolls have is their strength. Therefore, it gets very difficult to take action against them. Avoidance can be a solution. You can keep avoiding. For instance, yesterday was one of those days when I was being trolled, and on my Twitter account, I was getting non-stop, every second, notifications on people attacking me. And it was because of, it was an issue of connected to the Fab India controversy, where people thought Fab India is trying to wish people for Diwali for Urdu. Using the language Urdu, which is an Indian language, by the way, just for anyone's information watching here, it's very much a language of India. It's not connected to a religion. It's not connected to any certain community. Urdu is the language of India. So it was a day where Fab India was in the news of being trolled or wishing people for Diwali in Urdu. And I recounted an incident of exactly last year, where I had wished all my followers and people on Twitter very happy Diwali, and I had wished them in Urdu, for which I was trolled. So I was trolled exactly last year for the same matter. And yesterday, when I recounted that, saying that the Fab India episode really reminds me of what happened with me last year, I got trolled again about it, and the hate was the same. But the intensity in just 1 year, while I faced that hate exactly 1 year ago, yesterday I faced the same hate with double the intensity. And your Twitter feed is continuously buzzing with that hate. So you just have to switch off to keep your sanity. That's very important. Yes, sometimes responding is important when it really reaches an absolute low and you say, hey, this isn't right. But often switching off helps to keep your own sanity. And that is part of resolving this crisis here. And as I said, of accepting this as a pandemic will also help each of our concerned organizations and institutions to take charge and acknowledge this as a crisis of a pandemic here, to resolve this, because we have a very active and toxic troll army here in India. And I'm not sure if trolling is as bad in other countries as it is, as some of us face here in India. And we need governments to acknowledge that. Yes, there are existing IT guidelines, there are existing cybercrime laws in place, but they have their loopholes. It's very easy to slip through them. And it's never assured that, the person who has trolled you and caused this mental harassment can actually be brought to the book. So we need a lot of engagement from the government, from lawmakers, from the police, from the courts, to put their heads together, to come together and acknowledge this as a crisis. While social media is liberating, can spread a lot of happiness, can help you connect with people across the world, there is a very active and now a very major chunk of social media which has these trolls, which I say are employed by hate. And it's important to resolve this crisis. So I really thank MIT for bringing up this issue in a very sensitive manner, and for having me on board to speak about this as one person, as one of the many people who get trolled on social media, and not because of necessarily the work that I do, but only because what I am as a cultural and religious identity, and because I end up asking some tough questions to those who are sitting in government and to those who are lawmakers. So thank you very much.